Hi, everybody. My name is Gala, and I'm an artist and a mother and a teacher and a disabled person. And I was reading up on my disability this morning, which is Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. So I'll talk to you a little bit about it. Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, which is EDS, is a connective tissue disorder, and it's genetic, and it has several different types. And some are more problematic than others. Like there's a vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and that has to do with the connective tissue in the veins and arteries, and those organs or parts of our circulatory system can easily break, and it leads to easy bruising and internal bleeding and possibly what they call dissection of the aorta, which is like a hernia in the artery itself, and that opens up and then there's internal bleeding. It's extremely dangerous. So that's not the kind that I have. I have what's called hypermobility Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And I was diagnosed about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. Between 10 and 15 years ago, I was diagnosed after a lifetime of pain. So what it causes, this collagen problem, is weak tissues that are prone to overstretching and tearing. So especially when you think about collagen-rich fibers like tendons and fascia and ligaments. And so that's what leads to the hypermobility. It's this overstretching, and then the joint can come out of joint, which is painful. Sometimes it's not painful. I have like a little joint in my finger here that I can pull. Of course, yeah, I can feel it pulling in and out, and it doesn't hurt me at all. So I have one in my finger here that goes sideways. Hang on. Can I show you? No, it's not doing it right now. Maybe this one will do it. Well, yeah, it's coming out of joint. Clink, clink, clink. Anyway, so sometimes my joints are looser than others. I'm pretty inflamed right now because of my allergies, my hay fever, which is making me suffer greatly. So I have a lot of extra inflammation in my body, and I have arthritis in my hands. So I've gotten stiffer as I've aged. So not all my joints will come in and out, and there's sort of what they call subluxations. But when I was a kid, the signs of Ehlers-Danlos that were missed was fatigue, difficulty with exercise, so really reacting to exercise in a negative way after the exercise, unable to cross the street or run even a little jog without twisting or spraining an ankle, knee pain, leg pain, lower back pain. And by the time I was a young adult, I finally had an MRI done of my neck and shoulders, which were really problematic for me for a long time. Still are. And it was discovered that I had bone spurs in my neck at C4 that were growing into my spinal canal, and inoperable, basically, or not. I don't know. I didn't receive great medical care. Basically, I had to beg and plead for imaging, and then when the imaging came back showing that there was stuff, I was told that there was nothing that could be done. So I've been in and out of physiotherapy for various injuries that happen for no reason, no obvious cause for injuries. And that is a really telltale classical sign of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, is that you're getting all these sports-related injuries just from your regular life. So walking, twisting ankles, spraining ankles. I've lost count of how many sprains. Hormones, female hormones really affect the elasticity of the collagen in the body. And I have found that since I have been in menopause, I have maybe a 50% reduction in my daily regular pain. It's quite amazing, actually. And this is also something that they find in the Ehlers-Danlos community, is that women are more affected by their condition in terms of pain levels, because we've got those female hormones running around causing everything to get chaotic at least once a month, right? So yay us. So having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is, if you're diagnosed early, like in your childhood, the advice that's given is to be very careful and gentle. Excuse excuse me. Careful and gentle with your body. So not to engage in impact sports or endurance sports, because it's not good for us. So itchy. And there are other conditions that, of course, I wasn't diagnosed early. So I did engage in weightlifting, hiking. What was the other thing I used to do a lot? Well, walking, actually. I used to walk across my city nearly every day. Of course, I would end up with greatly inflamed joints in my hips and knees and ankles, and I would feel terrible, but I didn't know why I couldn't do it. So I would continue to exercise, because the rule of the day was no pain, no gain, and that pain was a normal part of exercise and that you had to push through it. So that's what I did. And by doing that, I got wear and tear in my joints. So right now, today, how Ehlers-Danlos affects me is, number one, I have muscular and joint pain throughout my whole body. And I have herniated discs in my neck, in my mid back, and in my low back. And I have stenosis at the cervical roots, where the nerves come out of the spinal canal and radiate down to the arms and the legs. I have stenosis there, which means a narrowing of the passageway. So when I'm inflamed, that narrowing gets more narrow. It's like all over the body inflammation. It's not just in one spot. And how I deal with it, oh right, I forgot to mention my knees and my ankles and my hips also hurt. And what else? Oh, right, digestion. Okay, so internal organs are made with collagen too, right? So collagen tissues are weak. The internal organs are prone to hernias. So I've had a couple of surgeries because I had herniated vagina. So what that means, it's called a prolapse, and it's really a hernia, and it's when the vaginal walls thin. So those are muscles that thin out and are weak, and the organs of the bladder, the uterus, the rectum can push into the vaginal canal with just a thin layer of tissue, keeping them inside, right? So instead of the strong muscles of the pelvic floor, you have weak muscles of the pelvic floor, and all those organs rushed into herniate, and I had surgeries to fix that. But recovering from surgery was long and difficult. And then I got COVID a few times, and recovering from that was long and difficult as well. So here I am. It's been about 2 years since my last bout of COVID, and I'm finally able to work again, not full-time, but part-time. And I'm finally able to walk around the block, and I'm able to stand up and cook supper, and I'm able to stay awake all day. And I don't need a nap every day like I did last year. I've made a lot of improvement, and I've gotten to this baseline where I feel not as disabled as I felt before. And I also think that a lot of that wellness, I can also contribute to my physical wellness and my mental wellness are interrelated. And I don't know which came first. Did I get mentally well and pull myself out of a physical hole? Or did I get physically well and pull myself out of a mental hole? But both my mental health and my physical health have improved together. Um, all right, so that's about all I want to say about how Ehlers-Danlos affects me. There's probably a few things that I forgot, right? Hiatal hernia, like there's little things. That's the stomach, the top of the stomach popping up into the chest cavity a little bit. It's a small one, it's only a couple centimeters, and it's really not a big deal, but it slows my digestion down. I'm sure there's other things going on in my bowel. I got hemorrhoids. Lots of people have hemorrhoids. I get big, giant piles of hemorrhoids that block up the passage and stop me from being able to pass stool. So I have to go see a colorectal surgeon periodically to get those removed, and then they keep coming back because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and nothing is solid in my body. Everything is just like a big bag of jelly, you know? All right, so that's all I have to say about EDS and how it affects me. I have found that there was a peak of discomfort in my 40s, and now in my 50s, it's getting better. And, you know, I still have hope. I no longer want to hike the Appalachian Trail. I mean, I want to, but I know I won't. I won't be able to. There's a hiking trail too that runs all through Canada. That was one of my early dreams, was to hike all the way through Canada, walk across the country, you know. These major physical feats, they're not going to happen, you know. And I cried over these dreams, you know. Um, the toughest part was letting go of my career, because I have unpredictable health, and when I get sick, I get sicker than other people. So I'm not able to work full time. I'm not able to finish my studies. I was doing a PhD. I wasn't able to complete that. Um, and that's okay. You know, I have found a job now that I can work part-time that is still in my field. I'm teaching early childhood education at the college level, and I love working with new teachers and helping them learn about child development, and I think that it's very stimulating. And I can take one course at a time to teach, and I don't have to push myself to work a full 40-hour or 35-hour week. Um, and that's very good for me. So things are looking up and things are good. And so if you have EDS, right, I get it. I know you have pain. The single best piece of advice that was given to me that I resented the hell out of, but I did it, was to pace yourself. Pace yourself. Find out what your baseline is. And if you're not having any good days from which you can baseline yourself, then you're pushing too hard, right? And if you have to give up stuff that you love to do, I get it. It's hard, but it's also necessary. It's not a choice. All right, so I love you lots, and I hope you're doing okay, and I hope it was interesting to hear a little bit about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye now.